Hey, gonna start the main live event here in just a minute, trying to get situated and see what will work and what won't on different platforms here. So it should be enough to see and hear me at least. Maybe not the whole body, oh well. Right. Wholeness, welcome. This is Josh of Inner Skilled Integrating Presence, and today's event is called Deeply Relaxed Yet Alert. And this is where I'm going to provide guidance for basic foundational state of relaxed yet alert, for the basic foundational state of being relaxed yet alert. From this base, you can start a more formal sitting practice, or maybe just what we're going to be doing is going to be enough for now. We'll go from the basic ease into maybe even beyond your most relaxed, such as in a deep sleep, massage, sauna, hot tub, vacation, etc., while at the same time attuned and attentive to what is now. Depending on the depth and state of relaxation, for balance sake, the alertness could be more figuratively approached the most that's ever been felt and known, like life and death situations where every moment mattered, like operating a motorcycle at high speed, holding someone's life in your hands, action needed during a massive challenge or emergency that's demanding, dangerous, etc. All this while sitting on your cushion, preparing for meditation. So, rephrasing that, yeah, this is going to be just a brief setup for meditation. So, in my own words here now, live, you're going to relax into this, but you're going to be alert too. So let's see how to approach this. First off, see if you can hear me from here. If anybody can't hear me, let me know because I'll be talking. So hopefully I won't be shouting. Ideally, we'll be in a soft meditative state, but I don't have all the microphones and accoutrements to do that. This can always be modified too. So take a place where it's where you're relaxed, but you won't fall asleep. Okay, sounds good. Thank you for the feedback. Apparently, I can be heard from this position. So no matter where we're at, we'll do what we can where we're at. So don't get upset or dismayed if you can barely even cross your legs, or you can't even cross your legs at all. Totally okay. If you want to go into full lotus posture, everywhere in between. So just find a place that's comfortable, or even if you can't right now, just keep this in mind, or you can re-listen to it too. And this is geared towards beginners, and if it's, it can also be a refresher course, or maybe you'll pick up some new things or remind me of some things I'm missing. So definitely open for feedback. So the main point is a balance between relaxation and ease. There's this, I heard somebody once say that, you see all these Buddha rupas. If you're watching this, maybe see the one in the background here, how they sit. And someone just said, well, that's just how a Buddha sits down, just like as we would sit in a chair or nonchalantly sit down. Well, that's how a Buddha naturally sits down. I thought, wow, that's a kind of a beautiful image. So no matter what degree of your flexibility and ease, kind of try to gauge what's relaxing, and but where you won't fall asleep. So we'll just do this for sitting. You can also do it for lying down and standing too, and walking to a certain degree. But right now we'll just do sitting. And we want to kind of gauge into our energy level and take a second. Do I feel more energy right now, or do I feel more relaxation? And we want to kind of balance towards the other end. And sometimes it can be deceptive. Sometimes we think we have a lot of energy, but then when we sit still, then we're actually kind of tired, or vice versa. We think we're relaxed, and then all of a sudden we fidget, and it's okay. If restlessness doesn't go away until we're fully awakened, it's said. So find what's comfortable, and won't go too much into body postures. But a general rule of thumb is a flat back, a flat, straight back. Now, some people like to keep a natural arch in their back, and sometimes I do that. But sometimes it's okay too to let the back flatten out. So you can take your hand and rub it along your back and decide whether it's more comfortable to have a natural arch, or what some people call a natural arch, I guess, in yoga, or to actually flatten your back out. And this allows the stomach muscles not to be used. So the stomach muscles will actually relax a lot more like this. This is especially helpful for more ease and relaxation. If you need kind of more energy and a more alertness, at least I've found this allowing a natural curve in your back can be helpful. Now, the your perineum between the anus and the gonads, so that tends to be more flat on the cushion, like a more perpendicular to the cushion when there's an arched back, I find. So that's one way to kind of gauge where it's comfortable. Now, it does seemingly take more effort, and some people can't hold like a natural arch, or some people might be able to actually hold that easier. So kind of experiment and find where that is as well. If you need more effort, find which version of that requires more effort to keep you awake and alert. But if you need more relaxation, find which one supports that as well. And see if you can just decide on one until you really need to change that. So for me right now, to feel some energy coming through, I'm going to go with the flat back and where my stomach will relax naturally. Okay. The other thing is to kind of align the top of your head. Like if somebody had a string right here, one of the easiest, quickest ways to do this is to pull, like imagine someone's got your head and your whole body is just dangling from that string. So with that, kind of feel into then an alignment with the neck where it's not too compressed and it's straight and aligned down the spine. We want to align, kind of have an upright spine and aligned. So sometimes that requires, you know, knowing where the shoulders are. Maybe for me, it's moving them back a little bit, maybe lifting them up and dropping them down, and then aligning the chin, and then also the whole torso, either forward or backwards. And then we've already worked on the perineum and hips, so that goes along with the back. So sorry for using so many so's. Um, with that, we don't have to go through this every time. Can just kind of get this, remember, oh, relaxed, alert, and then see how the body can just make some minor adjustments right away. Sometimes you might want to go through a whole detailed process and actually scan through the body internally to have this alignment. That might make sense at other times. So just kind of use your intuition to see how much effort and time you want to spend on this process. Now, with the legs themselves, should have mentioned this earlier maybe. We want to have relatively flat legs, or at least the knees flat. So if those don't reach, it's okay. You can find some props, some pillows. You can either do that now or wait. Because what tends to happen is if the knees are suspended in the air like this, there's going to be pressure over a little amount of time where it's either going to hurt here, or there'll be some pressure in the groins or somewhere where it's not going to be comfortable to have the knees usually for longer periods of time hanging in the air. So it's important to give those the support that's needed. Any other support you feel you need on the legs, I would definitely go for it. Whatever's comfortable we can do. I don't know if you can see this or not. An easy pose where both of the top of the feet are on the floor. Now this took me years to even be able to do that. And I had really bad posture, but little by little, day by day, sitting, it just naturally happens. So don't be frustrated or discouraged if for some reason, you're not where you want to be around this. Totally okay. With practice and patience and kindness to yourselves, it kind of works out itself. So you could do easy pose. I think somebody called this a quarter lotus, where the foot is on the not quite on top of the leg, but on top of the lower leg. And then some people can do or like to do like more half lotus like this. To me, I don't really have the strength to hold this a lot of times for a really long time. I mean, if you're into yoga, you can do these postures like this. I don't even know what this is called, where you're um, when you have your legs scissored back on each other and stacked on top of each other. That to me is a little bit more problematic because the natural tendency is to want to, because of the effort, is to balance that out. And you don't want to be moving around unnecessarily during meditation. So that's kind of why the easy pose and half lotus is helpful. Some people also do. I could stay like this longer, where the like Lincoln log or whatever we want to talk, stacked one calf on top of each other sideways, but that also requires more balancing. So those I don't really recommend for regular long-term sitting where you want to stay more stable. Okay, so with that aside, that's pretty basic. Now we'll get to the more um, I guess psychological, we want to say, or meditation instructions here for the last few minutes. So with all that, let's just find that balance, and then let's just have a few minutes of silence before I start guiding. So just relax, take some breaths, and notice energy levels and relaxation levels, alertness levels, and levels of ease. You might want to settle in and make some micro adjustments now with your posture. So I'll start with the ease part. And if you're ready to relax, you may just want to let the words roll off like water off a duck's back. So with ease, you can emphasize the out breath more, or notice the more relaxing aspects of your meditation object initially, setting the attention to really balance the ease. If more is needed, intend to bring in more ease. If less is needed, intend that. Just not every time we do this, but think, reflect back, not to get the exact same state or that you're lacking it now and needs to be reachieved. But think of some time, maybe it's helpful when you're really super duper relaxed. Maybe a massage, a really great massage. Just kind of felt like jelly or jello, really pleasantly relaxed. Maybe it could be after doing some moderate exercise and just taking a break and completely releasing, maybe at the end of yoga, shavasana, maybe a hot tub, maybe just taking a nap and woken, fell into a nap and or awoke from a nap and you feel really refreshed and relaxed and at ease. Maybe even someone's company that just feel expanded and grounded, present, relaxed, and degree of pleasantness. And imagine like if your muscles could loosen around the bones, almost like it's falling away from the bones, any tension or tightness, especially if you notice any areas like that now, can bring the intention to have the muscles and the tendons and the ligaments fall away and just release and relax. And if there's any areas of tension or tightness that just don't want to have it, they can just float them in awareness. Just bring kind, intentional awareness to relax. And you can find some areas in your body that are super duper relaxed, super, very pleasant. And then you can invite any tight places to join them, or you can have the relaxed places, so to speak, go to the tight places and show them what relaxation is like. And the other thing with our breathing, we can allow the breath to be like an internal massage. So this is kind of more on the gross physical muscle level. We can even get to our internal organs and allow the breath be like a gentle internal massage, allowing even any deep internal tension that may be associated with fascia, internal organs to also release, loosen, relax, unfurl, unwind, unravel in a supportive and coherent way. Maybe even the muscles around the spine on the inside, allowing them to relax too. Okay, so I'm starting to feel a little bit more relaxed. Still, I probably need more of this. Let's go to the alert part now. And now I love this image of a blade of grass. So it's can be bent over, but then it springs right back up. So if you found yourself hunched a little bit, or maybe the spine is compressed, maybe bring that image of the string back. If you need to, can kind of align the spine, so this, but not rigid, keeping the relaxation there, but just upright and alert to whatever is comfortable. So that blade of grass that will spring back upright when bent over and released. So here we want wakefulness and alertness, but not the alertness like overdone, but if we're a little bit over relaxed, we might want to bring in a little more alertness. So the in breath often does that and bring more energy into the system. A sense of uprightness, responsiveness. So yeah, if we do need to bring a little bit of extra alertness in, let's think of a time that's not too panic induced. Because if you don't need this, again, allow it to be like water off a duck's back and keep focusing on what's needed, the relaxation. But if a little alertness is needed, think of a time when you had to be really awake and present to what you're doing because it was really important to do that. Now bring that same quality of mind and heart to your meditation object. You can use the breath, for example. Imagine that kind of presence and alertness and attentiveness and sense of urgency to be there with staying with the meditation object. Again, if it starts to get too much, then we want to bring relaxation, but we don't want to micromanage this either. So I just want to kind of get us in the ballpark. And then once we get these reference points, we can just kind of let go and trust our intuition to be there and balance it without all the words that I'm using, just feeling into it. So if we need more alertness, we need to be more proactive and maybe bringing forth energy and doing. But if we already have enough of that, you need to be more receptive and relaxed. And this may fluctuate throughout the session. A lot of time doesn't have to be spent on this, just it will eventually be once it's recognized, then the body, mind, heart system will just be responsive and find the right balance almost intuitively or secondhand. You can also bring in some brightness for alertness. You can open your eyes, imagine a light or tune into light. Okay, gone over time here. So when you're ready, you can come out of this. However, you're definitely welcome to stay and continue meditating. So this is kind of a decent base if it's not too agitating and upsetting with all the words I've been using here. You can do this without the words with more ease, then it's a perfect place to launch into a longer meditation. So with that, I won't use a bell, and I will just thank you all for joining and listening. And hopefully you've got something out of this. You're welcome to comment in the chat or remain silent and continue meditating. And you all are most welcome. So until next time, sit and practice well. Bye now.